Hey guys, I'm Derek, this is 4 in Tune, and this video goes over quite a few things actually. So without further ado, we're going to get into a little bit of an introduction on it. So in this video, it's a little all over. My gloves are still wet. That is not cool, man. So in this video, we start off already distracted, getting into a shiny thing. I'll start on the bench over there with my catalytic converter heat shield, which was pretty disgusting. And I forgot to film the first half of it, but the underside of it was disgustingly thick with grossness. I don't know. It looked as bad as the interior of the car did when I first found the car in the woods. So that's step one. Step two, no, step 7, maybe step 6. I get to the seats. I get a new interior, so that's good. I got my wood trim back. I got the seat covers in. I've got the car running, I think, beautifully right now until I get it on the highway and actually start stretching its legs a little bit. But the car, reach in the window, crank it, bam, every time she's ready to fly. I love it. I work on the central locking system, so now the central locking system works. The trunk and the passenger door. What else? Windshield wipers I handle, the squirter motor I take apart, well, the whole system essentially. So that's handled as well. And I play a cassette tape in this car. That was a pretty epic moment, actually. I'm still giddy over that. The heater system works in it, mostly. I still got to figure out why I can't move it around. It is purely blowing defrost, vents, and floor, and I can't get it no matter what I'm doing. So I think I got some of the vacuum lines a little kerfluffled there under the dash. And something else. I get the floors fully in, obviously. If the interior is going back in, the floors are all in. There's more. I know there's more. There's a lot of cleaning involved. There's polishing. I take apart, obviously, to get to the vacuum system to start testing it. The driver's door card comes off, and I take off the trim that runs along the top edge of the door, because I'm also waiting right now for my dew wipe, window sweep, belt, door, window, belt line. You know what I'm talking about. The crazy thing that keeps all the crap out from the glass in the door frame, or the door, top of the door. That, because it's in terrible shape. That gets done. The seal that runs underneath the hardtop gets dug out and replaced. And I think that's about it. So anyway, yeah, enjoy the video. I hope you learned something. If not, you can see the mistakes that I probably made doing half of what I'm doing. So anyway, let's get started. Well, once again, I got sidetracked. Look at that, come on. A little bit more. This thing was unrecognizable. As you can tell, this was the clean side. This side had probably 1/8 of an inch of crap. This is the heat shield for above the catalytic converter. So, I mean, come on. You gotta get that clean, right? Okay. Floor's tacked in, and we're gonna let that sit probably overnight at least. Put a little heat on it and get it cured up nicely so I can finish that thing up tomorrow. So getting right back to it, I've got the panel bond is down. It's been 20-ish hours. I got a couple of screws down holding the leading edge down, snug, perfect fit. It looks good all the way around. Spout welds are solid and feeling great. I hammered down the edges a little bit more to truly conform, and I think everything is ready for some welding. So we're gonna go around and get this thing welded in. And yeah, should be wrapping this thing up here today, as far as the floor goes. Man, what a pain in the ass this is. And it is a terrible welding job. However, I did an inner and an outer seam. So the outer seam is underneath and the inner seam is on top. Both of them are about equally ugly. In order to get to most of it on the back side here, I need to cut open the seat top, and then I'll weld that back closed, clean all that off, and button that back up. But right now, most of the welding is done. I still have that plate to put on the front, that facing the gas pedal there. And then I'll bond, maybe weld, I haven't decided yet, the gas pedal in place. And we'll call it good. So right now, I've switched gears and I'm gonna fish out my little lever, which dropped in there. As you can see, there's no more bushing here, and it was giving me a ton of play. So while I got this thing all apart, I figured now's the perfect time to fix that too. But we'll see what I can come up with. So, gear shift bushing, this little thing, huh? We'll see if that makes a difference, because I feel like this. I know, another shiny thing, can't help it. Things get shiny. That's exactly how that came out. And I'm guessing this goes in here or that way. Probably that way, I don't know. But it goes in there, and then the arm is down here, which I'll pull back up. It's only held on with this on the inside of this. And then it's just 4 bolts and then 3 bolts on the top. So those 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, and 1 on the other side. And it should give me good shift feel again, because I gotta tell you what, this is just like hot dog down a hallway kind of thing here. I mean, it sits in kind of like that, and that's how it was flopping around in there. So we'll see. That's the lever arm. So we'll find something to fill the gap between that and that big ass hole in the lever. Well, I gotta say, that is amazing that this thing actually fits that. I happen to have a windshield wiper arm bushing from a 1991 Chrysler TC Maserati, and I barely trimmed the inside edge off at all, and this thing popped right into place with like 2 taps of the hammer. And this is almost a perfect fit for the arm to go through. So that is checkmate, baby. That's a win. Yes, I needed that. Wow. That is like wildly different. Before it was just like all over, not like that, nothing like that. That's just, it wouldn't lock. It was just sloppy as hell. That feels so much better, actually. Lever in neutral. Good deal. That was easy. Well, I marked it. That's where it's going to go. It does go all the way down and hits the pedal stop, and the arm still stays inside the pedal slot, I guess. But I don't know yet if I'm going to panel bond it or weld it. I'm leaning towards panel bond. Really am. But I don't know. Make your guess. Down in the comments. Let's see what happens. Well, I got the floor in mostly. No, yeah, the whole floor. Both floors are in. So here, this is what it looks like. I still have a little sticky paper on the top, but cable. I think they look really good. All the spots are covered with panel bond. I ran panel bond all the way around, underneath and on top, and then I put seam sealer around everything. Then underneath got undercoating or stone chip, whatever you want to call it. I bonded my pedal, so now there's an actual gas pedal that works. Goes all the way to the floor, nice and solidly. It feels weird. And what else? That side is done exactly the same way. So they are sealed. Another shitty welding job here, but it is solid through and through. Everything is seam sealed. Everything looks good. I'm very content. Right here is where the main spar runs underneath, which is why I spot welded it to that as well. So she is as solid can be right now. Super stoked. So this is another thing crossed off the list, a big thing. Now, today, now that this is done and the floors are done, I got to figure out why my oil pressure gauge is acting wonky. It's either pegged out or off, and it's been a replaced piece already, so I got to check resistance in that. So yeah, we're going to do that. And then when I go high beams, my left headlight goes out and both rights work. So the right side's working, the left side feels like maybe a grounding issue or something. So I got to look at that too. So here we go. So after doing a little bit of troubleshooting here, I believe almost a year ago now, probably close to a year ago at least, I bought an oil pressure, I thought sending unit. Maybe I searched for switch, oil pressure switch, in which case the Phoebe I bought, 006-542-9417, claims to be a sending unit, but it acts like a switch, like an on and off switch. So my gauge is either pegged or off. And the resistance doesn't match what it's supposed to be. So I'm gonna have to do some more searching on that one. Unless I have maybe a 5 bar, because I think mine is a 0 to 3 bar range. And if this goes to 5 bar, then it's gonna remain pegged out. So I'll have to do a little more research on that and figure that one out. So moving on to my headlight problem. That's where I'm heading next. The outer goes dead when the inner is asked to join the party. And so I think I'm gonna go check for grounds behind and see what we can figure out there. What a mess. So I got my Euro oil pressure switch today. Kind of cool. Very unassuming. So I want to do some measurements between the Phoebe I got and the Euro I have. And this one doesn't say 0 to 3 bar, but I'm told this is the right one, so we'll see. I'm curious to see what some of these readings are. We'll check resistance first. .2 auto range, 11.2 ohms. Okay, so if that's 11.2, let's see what the Phoebe was. .22. So that seems different. Okay. Well, let's figure out what happens. I'm curious. And just for good measure, I just took this one back out. Save that before I lose it. This is the factory one with a Mercedes part number and everything on it. Let's see what we get. We're going to figure this out. 10.7, 10.8, 11. Okay, well, that's awful close to my euro. Where's my euro? That's the Phoebe. Yeah, euro. It's very hard to see. Let's see. 11. $21. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. So we're just going to put this in and see what happens. So, as I was checking some continuity and grounds to see if there was a short in the wire, this is the end that goes to the pressure switch. And this one goes to the temperature switch, pressure sender, sorry, verbiage matters. And this one goes down to the oil temperature switch. So I guess this just turns a light on. As I was wiggling this and testing the connection, I heard click, 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 click from over there somewhere. And as I pulled the wires up and just twisted it around to look, this thing just fell apart. So there it is. It apparently just gave up the ghost. So we'll put a little of that, not that, that, and that, and that, and make it work again. All right, she's reconnected. The pressure or temperature switch is reconnected. Let's go see if the euro gives me some juice. Goes to 0. We're in park. Still pegs out. What the hell? Animals. So that oil pressure switch is giving me a hard time. The pressure switch is putting out 185 in resistance with the engine running, I think it was. Then, so that's working. The wiring, I fixed the end. I did solder that back together because one of the ends broke off on the pressure sensor. So that's soldered back on. I tested the wire from the connector here to the number 5 pin plugging into the back of the dash, and I have 0.01 of resistance. The wire looks solid. It should be fine. And then the gauge itself has full deflection, 0 when it's plugged in, key off, 0 when it's plugged in, key on. And as soon as you disconnect and you go full resistance, the gauge jumps to max with the car off. And as soon as I start the car, it still goes to max oil pressure. So that is on the cards to still fix. Moving on. Well, I guess I should have just waited, because at thinner oil, when the engine's warmed up a little bit and not, 18, 22 degrees, the oil is a little thinner, obviously. And when it's warmed up and not revving at 1,000 RPM, I got oil pressure. So gauge is working apparently. That's at low idle, which I'm surprised it's still that high, but oil's working. There we go. I mean, it's a win, And another win, I have heat. Yep, blowing here. I got defrosters. Got a little bit blowing out down here. So far, so good. Got myself a Euro washer pump for the car. So we're gonna plug that in and we'll check to see if I actually get squirters. And that'll be another small thing. I'm waiting on my wipers to show up yet. So part one of my wiper system should be ready to go here soon. Let's get back to seeing if we can get this to work. And that would be a good start. And I think that's a plug because I don't have the headlight washer system in. So run some hoses and connector and see if we get juice. Just walked into the car. All right. What do we think? Is it going to happen? Oh, come on. That one's trying. She needs to be cleaned. That's a win. Let's see how well this works on them. So we've got both of them off, and as you can see, they come off pretty easy. You just be patient and gentle. You get two little push tabs on either side, and you got to pinch them together. I rocked one out first, and then got the other one. So I'm going to throw it in here and see if that helps clean anything up. Instead of sticking a tiny piece of metal through the orifices, we'll just work with some ultrasonic. Wish I had that 30 years ago. Oh. Oh, come on. Well, that's worse. So this one is how much water my driver's side hose is putting out, and this is how much the passenger side hose is putting out. So I think I have a blockage right where it goes from 1 into 2. These blow through fine, and I think I got to try to figure out a way to clean this. Maybe ultrasonic? I don't know. This might be where my problem is. Just look how over-engineered this is. Okay, this is the inside. I took the cap apart. But, so, one center hole. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but it goes in. And it stops right there. Right there. And then it divides. It goes up and down to go out these holes on the side. One here and one on that side, doing the same thing right through there. And that's how it divides. And this is a rubber wrapper, just rubber, that is encased, and all of that air is channeled inside this rubber wrapper. And it's just clamped closed with these guys. Wholly over-engineered. Is this why we work on these cars all the time? All right, this is after taking it apart, and I'm gonna find that acceptable. And I don't know how I got it apart without breaking it. But there it is. She's flowing. Apparently it's clean. This was pinched a little bit right here from the clamp up on the hood. So we'll get that sorted and maybe slide that. Now, I think most of the garbage is out of there. Well, there's still a little bit of garbage in there. But I think that should resolve this issue. Next is to clean the windshield and put my new blades on. And they should be here today. Get a little final action here. I just cleaned the windshield off. Oh yeah, she is flowing nicely. I will call that job done, except for the wiper blades, but job done. Now, I did manage to refill my original wiper blades. I got to adjust them yet. They got to go a little higher, but as you can see, it doesn't even touch over here and hangs off. But what I did, I bought the Bosch. I'll have to look at the box here in a minute, but I just bent this end right here off, and then these slid, those slid right out, and there's a little detent in one, yeah, right here. And once you pry this back, it releases it up here. You can slide these out and slide them right back in the original factory ones, like refills. And I think I got these at Auto House AZ for, I think, 12 bucks. So now I'll still get to keep the factory look. I don't have to paint anything. And once I get them adjusted and put up where they belong, they're gonna work perfectly. So, kind of happy about that. So the only way to really do this, because the spring tension is very tight, and you gotta relax, loosen it. Pull the blade all the way up, and then as it goes forward, should be able to pop that forward. Sometimes you need a screwdriver. Again, sometimes you need a screwdriver to get in here, just to get that cap off. Just a little bit of a twist up. Come on, let's go. There it is. See? Just rocks it, and then you can lay it back down. Now you have access to that 13 millimeter. This, once you get this nut off, which it's not very tight, nut off, you have to bring it back up, full deflection, give it a little wiggle, wiggle, twist, twist, wiggle, and that's how you take the blades off. This is not only got grooves in it all the way around, but it's also tapered. And all I'm gonna do is move it from being too low, like that one's gotta come up at least one or two or three teeth maybe. And I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. And I think that looks a little bit better. So now we're gonna try to get maybe some of the interior done. I don't know. We'll see. All right, it's kind of a big day. I am apprehensively excited right now because my seat covers came. So seat covers are here. I'm gonna attempt to put them on. It's taken 3-4 months because the company that I used didn't have a template for them, so I had to send them my old seat covers. They created all new seat covers, and I just got them yesterday. So let's go see how they fit, because that is the true measure. And there they are. So I got headrests, and they look to be really good quality so far. They used Velcro instead of the tucked plastic, which was in the original one. I got a new armrest. Smells delicious. They did use zippers on this one, same thing, but it looks like they'll be able to tuck in, and you'll have a little zipper seam on the back. But you know what? The quality really seems good. The stitching looks great on it. And then the seat bottoms, they put the plastic, the hard plastic back in there also. And a really thick one on the front to loop around. This is a bottom. You can see the stitching that they did here. It looks great. So I am dying to see how they're going to fit. So let's do it. And if you've taken these things apart, you know that there's quite a lot to it. So here we go. I'm going to start first with a headrest. And should be fun, because I know I got to squeeze most of this down to squeeze it in to the new covers.
Looks like that's the front.
This ain't easy.
Which is good, right? Make sure you don't have sharp fingernails. Well, as you can see, it's just a struggle. I'll keep struggling.
Okay. One headrest and one sprained wrist rate later. A little bit of bump, but a little sunlight, a little massaging. I think this stuff will snug up and tighten down even nicer. So far, so good. I think that looks great. All right, on to the next one. Two done. And this was the second one. Leather feels great. I got to clean up these a little bit yet. But yeah, so far, perfect fit. And they're only going to get better with time. Could probably roll this one forward a little bit more, but I don't know. Maybe I won't even notice. All right, armrest. I don't even remember doing this. And that's part of the problem we all face, right? That's the struggle. Come on, come on, there we go. What did I do? So I got to polish this out yet, but I can get the leather on anyway. So let's see how hard this is.
This seems like the bottom. Yep, you can see the curl. I put it on shoes. And I know that there's a better way to slide this stuff in because this is sticky. Coat it in some baby oil or something and attract all the critters. Ooh. I mean, they even have the soft cushiony stuff. This is like super thick. They show the inner liner in there too. I mean, that's just really cool. I guess patience, right? Bend but don't flex. No, bend but don't break. Flex but don't twist. That actually ended pretty good.
Not bad. This is almost, I'm not going to say it, but it looks good. And I think I got to mount it onto the seat before I put this stuff back on. There's some, as the Brits say, bits and bobs that need to go in here. So we'll save this for later. Yeah, excited so far. Now this guy is the driver's seat back. I know that because all of the pieces have drivers listed on it. Plus it's got this bad boy, which goes across the top here. And it's got these little clamps to go on the inside. Which, just be careful if you're taking these apart, because they will break. This shit is old, yo. And you can see just all ribbed up. So, a couple of screws on the side. Now, I forgot. I have the video of taking this stuff apart, and I may insert it here in a couple of places just to see how hard it is to get some of these side screws out, because they are thread locked in place, and it took a little bit of map gas and an impact to get these things to break loose. So you're trying to basically set fire to your seat frame and not the whole seat back. So it's pretty entertaining. I don't know if I have the video or not, but I hope I do. If I do, I'll insert it. And I love it, flipping it over. Here's just some random scraps of carpet they had laying around at the factory. A couple different colors of whatever. Really perfect feeling carpet from 1980 to, well, I guess 81. I don't know, maybe 82. I forgot what month it was built. But that's the seat back. And you got to pay attention to the routing of this cable and this cable. So I got to go try to refresh my memory on how this came apart. Here's where the headrest goes back in. And this is that button you got to push to get the headrests out, which is covered by that rear panel. You got to kind of feel for it. So yeah, here we go. All right, first bit of complications we're running into. Seat back. This is that big long part that'll tuck up under here. So down like that. However, there's no holes in the top for the headrest, which is slightly concerning. I don't know where to put them yet. So, all right, problem number one. Right in place, solid strip all the way around. All right, so before I put, look at that. This is the entry side, driver's side of the car. Seat bottom, by the way. But before I put the covers on, I need to plus this side up a little bit. So I went and got, well, I cut up a sponge. I'm gonna fill in some of the low spots through here, and then I'll put probably 2 layers of this cloth over the side of it. It's got good cushion inside as well. So hopefully we'll get that right side, or the left side if you're sitting in the car, equal to the opposite. Okay, so we're getting there. A couple of hog rings. There are the long slats through here, and then there's a hole right here, like this one, that the spring hooks into. So you got to keep that area clear. Trying to keep these flat and as flush as you can, because you got a bracket here and a bracket on this side as well. And again, you can feel the hole right there. And these are just, as you can see the tip of it there, this goes all the way down to about where that is, actually. Same thing on this side, down to about there, and then there's the hole there. So I'll cut a slit here and here for the spring to go through, and then we can start putting the bottom on this, because this should be good. Built it up enough, oops, sorry about that. I built it up enough where it should be okay. And I'm gonna flip it over and see what we got to work with. I think that came out really nice, actually. Those little wrinkles will come out nicely here soon enough. And now I'm gonna start building up the bracketry. Sweet. See, there's enough cushioning in these seat cushions where you don't even feel anything that I built up on that outer side. And let's see if I can see it. I'll lower you down a little bit. I think it came out really well. I'm curious to sit in it now. Sweet.
Pin goes in here. Just like that. Clip on the inside. One of these clips.
Give you an overview anyway of what we're doing. Yeah. Go. So close. There it goes. Springs in. Okay, I think the easiest thing to do here, see, I don't even remember if this went first and this went on top or how that worked. I don't remember. But I do know that's got to go in first regardless. You can see you got the little slide on the inside and a plastic ring on the outside. That. All right, and then you can cinch it up with this, it looks like. Torque that down, and I think we're good to go on this side. Do the same for the other. All right, guys. Well, here is arguably an important part of what we're doing. Driver's side seat, front of the seat, inside edge where the center console is, has the black little feet. As you can see, it's thicker on one side, and that is going to go point towards the middle of the seat, with the white ones on top. And another one is going to be, pull that lever, right there, same setup. Now, as long as you're pulling that lever, it should slide nice and easy, just like so. All right, release, and that's locked in. And my understanding is it's only on the side of the center console. The outer ones on the outside where the doors are in both seats, all four on that side of the seat are white. So the black ones only go on the bottom on the console side of both seats, to the best of my understanding right now. So we're gonna roll with that and see where it takes me. And we're back. So I want to bring you in here. You can kind of see this rod goes obviously into this side all the way across, and it comes out right there. But you got to get that in that groove here, and it's just a square tube going into a female receptacle. So once you get that in, these should be close to lined up, and then you can lock 2 bolts in and hold it in place. Okay, what I should have done is shown you guys how this went together. But essentially there's two tongs that stick down off the side of this and clip in. You kind of slightly pinch each one and it'll pop out. Inside is a lock nut, but it's kind of like a spanner lock nut, which these were able to get in there and tighten it down enough to give you the right resistance on that bad boy. So now we're going to put the inside tracks back together after maybe I clean these up first because they're a little spotty. So somehow this goes on the inside. I completely forgot how I took this apart. That goes down here somewhere, and this goes on the inside. But I think I have to put this in first or something. That looks like right. So I don't know. I'll figure it out. Took it to the polisher for a second. Got some of the schmutz off. Black piece goes on the inside down here. This little clip or piece goes up onto the top. Here, here. And that clip right there. If I can find them. There. Beautiful. Oh, God. Beautiful. That's what that is. And we'll do the same thing to the left side, but they're going to go on the cleaner first. And because this is the one I'm going to look at every time I get in and out of the car. So, be right back. So the biggest question I have right now about the seat back is, do I need to tear this off? Because this is supposed to curl underneath and give a rolled look, and then the seat back slides underneath it but against it and locks into these three clips. So these two pieces, this rolls underneath and the seat back slides up on the inside of it. And the way this is right now, it's like they expected it to be like this piece down here, just lock it in place and it's good. But that's not how this goes. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to deal with that later. And I also need to figure out what holds this bad boy in place, because I forgot how to lock that in. I can't remember if you just twist it or how that goes. So we'll fiddle with that as well. But I can do that in the car, and I'm tired of having my seat out of the car. So this is going in the car now. I figured that out. A little tap, not very much right here. Once this is in place secure, just give a little tap and it'll spin this all the way around and lock it into the cap, and then the cap is locked on. That's how confident I am. Done. Except for the seat back. I still got to do the seat back. Okay. Interior is kind of back together. I'm going to have to take it apart again because for whatever reason, the ashtray doesn't seem to sit far enough in to when I close the ashtray, it wants to pick up the trim around the gear shifter. So I'll have to take that back apart again. Stereo's in does work. I haven't played a cassette in it yet, but I'm going to. I still have to do the horn, but I'll deal with that later because I'm not done troubleshooting the oil pressure gauge yet. So that steering wheel is going to come off a dozen more times. However, for what it is, I think it looks really, really good considering where it started. The seats could be better, but I'm sure they'll tighten up a little bit in time, couple wrinkles in them. Make some notes to send back to the guys who made them. But even a little lights work on both sides. All in all, I think I'm going to have a nice little going to town rig. And that's really all this is going to be. Or sell it. I don't know yet. We'll see. I love days like this. It's just snow, the sound. Just, I love getting snow. Snow makes me happy. And then I get to go in here. I don't know if you can see. And I get to go play on that again. Yeah, just a good day. So what will be more appropriate to give this cassette player an attempt at life again? Yeah, let me show you. I think this is perfect. I don't even know how this goes in. That shows some age. Heard something. Oh, yes. Cassette player needs to be cleaned, but man, does it play. All right. There we go. That's a win. So we'll just check this one first. This is the one I'm going to primarily be using. Lines come through. One is lock, one is on lock. I forgot which. But I have a third one going up here now. There's a check valve right here. Okay, so it looks like there's a, that's the main supply. Okay, so yellow is the main supply, and then you've got lock and unlock going up into this little bad boy right here. As they curl behind this and back in, 1, 2, 3. All right, so I'm going to take this off and have a look at it and see what I can figure out. There's another check valve. Okay. Well, let's give these a good, I mean, that's nice. Start the car here in a minute and I see if I get any flow on this bad boy. So I have zero, count them, zero vacuum coming out that line. And then I just remembered I never connected my vacuum line behind the dash. Now I got to take the steering wheel back out, take the instrument panel back out, and reconnect that stupid line back there, and then see where we're at. So one step at a time, right? That's how you eat an elephant. Before I start forgetting shit. All right, red is forward. Red is the front one. Okay. And here, we're going to go with yellow and black to the back. All right. I think we have some action here. Okay. So there's that guy. And what I'm going to do is push down and lift it back up. Now watch this guy. Push down, lift it back up. I think we have action. Now my trunk should work too now. I guess we're going to go check that. So the solution is a new fuel cap actuator. New problem though. Yeah, and I don't think, did I key this? I don't remember if I keyed this or not. Let's find out. Okay. I don't think I was able to key the trunk. Yes. Okay, well, that's a cool story. That's fine. That's fine. We're fine. It's fine. How are you? Anyway, ignoring that. So the actuator seems like one side was blown out because the vacuum only operated one direction. Whereas up here, both directions held solidly. And if this side was holding, then that side is probably holding. And backing it up to in here, this line, the gray one, is the line directly off the manifold or the intake. Had great vacuum on that. And what else? Oh yeah, this was disconnected, so now that's connected. I might put zip ties on these things just to be certainist or more certain. And the dash is reconnected, so the vacuum gauge works there. Because the mechanism is not lined up correctly, so I have to break into my trunk again. Since I don't have the key keyed for it, and I don't feel like spending $300 on another lock, I'm just going to use the vacuum system to get in and out of my trunk. And right now, the vacuum system isn't aligned correctly, so I have to go align it correctly to get it to work better. I can hear it moving, but it's just not releasing it. You can feel it just kind of catch when you're pushing in on it. So that'll be the next thing I work on. All right, we're finally back in. Courtesy of that hole that I put in there, right there, back in the day. You got to go in to the right and up a little bit with like a smaller screwdriver and just keep working it, and she'll release. So, time to adjust again, which after I put it all back together just yesterday, because I thought it was set, I realized I need to adjust it. So we'll get that adjusted. That's back on the charger again, even though the battery seems to be okay. And I did just order the outside window sweep, dew wipes, belt line, gasket thing. So I'm gonna have to take that apart here in a few days and fix that. And I think that's gonna be about it for, well, never mind. I have this seal too. I gotta go put this seal in because that is in terrible shape. And that is like a rock. And I have the seal over there. I just need to install it. So those are the next few projects. And I think that'll wrap up this video. It's probably the better part of an hour now. So I'm Derek. This is 4 in Tune. Thanks for watching.